to break away from it, because I wouldn't have come here on YouTube to talk about these things. Generally, I love gardening. I had a beautiful garden and always spent a lot of time on growing plants and flowers and whatnot. I should put some pictures of it on here when I get the chance to get them together of over the period of years that how I built my garden. And I love cooking. I'm a cooking fanatic, really, and taught my wife how to do all these things, but unfortunately she's forgotten all the recipes now. But yeah, but this video, I've observed a lot of videos and involved with a lot of different types of people on the internet, and been educated a great deal and opened my eyes, and especially after this accident. And where I'm getting at is like the way that our society is. So I've decided to start a whole new road, and a much more important thing, I think, than about our case is the society. We hear about the new world order that may be forced upon us, and how corrupted the society is, and how corrupted the leaders are. Say, for example, if we all manage to grow up. This is everybody in the world, the Muslims, the Hindus, the Christians, and we all came to a conclusion that religion has let us down, and we want to create a much better world today. Is it possible to create a better world on the infrastructure that we have? In the States you're talking about voting, this person in Ron Paul and that person and whatever. But do you think you will have a different America by just changing one individual? Because I talk in some of my other videos about the fruitcake. You replace Ron Paul, you don't replace the fruitcake. All you do is replace the carrot on top of the fruitcake. So basically the same as in this country. No matter which political party you bring to power, you're going to still get the same fruitcake, but just with a different carrot on top. As we go on, our society, the whole infrastructure that is built on money. Basically, the people that created this fruitcake, basically, the way I look at the fruitcake is the fruitcake is not really a cake. It's really a bank. Its whole idea, the whole creation of it is to extract money out of the people. We don't know where the money go to. The money just vanishes into thin air, presumably to fund all these different things, from hospitals to disabled people to unemployed people, keeping the roads going. But I think that is the disease of our society. So if we remove that fruitcake and start again, of course our society will collapse as the way we know it. But what I'm wondering is, this movie is thrown to everybody with new ideas of how do you manage to keep a society together when you remove its foundations, because we've all grew up and decided that the foundations is absolutely rotten. If we carry on the way we do, we will destroy each other, and we won't be able to move around anymore. We'll hate each other so much that it won't be no point of living. So just imagine when the infrastructure collapses. Of course, nature will take over. You'll end up with a load of looting and chaos, basically. But at the end of the day, we're not there. We're not interested in that. This is the human being fighting again to retain a new position. But how do you group people together again to make them see the logic? We've got to be able to keep, the media going, because we don't trust the media that is there unless they can prove to us that this was the past, because they work for this big company that paid the money, that they had to be this sort of person. And they've got the technology. We still would have the electric if we could see the logic that we had to carry on working to survive. It's no use of destroying everything, and when the food went, there will be no food left to eat, and when the television is all stolen and there's no money to pay the presenters, they won't go to work no more. So you got to keep all that infrastructure going. So this is what I've never heard on the internet. You see, it's like, where do we begin? How do we manage to create a logic that to enable to care for everybody? We need to keep that infrastructure going. Now you've got a scenario where you're not going to get paid for a period of time. You got to bring bartering of some kind in. It's maybe all right for like plumbers and whatever. But I think we all have something to contribute, because I believe that that's how we're made. We're made to contribute something. The way this society is, that the reason why we got this huge amount of people that are unemployed is because they're made to believe that they're nothing. But we need an organization that could be created by the people, with the people, in sitting down and communicating. But we know where that took us before. It took us in a sense back to the unions and Illuminatis, if you want to call them, because they couldn't help exploiting what was there to be exploited. But we mustn't forget one important thing: the establishment is not going to let go so easy, even though the whole 70% of the public is willing to stand up and fight back. But that the rulers, they may believe they still own the police, the army, and the navy. But after all, to the police, to the army, and the navy, you are our children, And the thing is, can we educate the parents to communicate with their children that the game is over? We are your kids, and we don't want you earning this money anymore, because we sooner suffer the hardship and create a society that we all believe in. This goes for everybody in the world, not only us, because I believe the disease is with every country in the world. No matter which country you go through, the fruitcake is the very same. It's all run by a big power that established for years, and they know how to extract money from people. They got the gold. If you disperse of the money and get rid of the money, or people raid the bank and grab all as much, but the money will become worthless. If you want to destroy the infrastructure, money will become worthless. So all my compensation will be going up in smoke. But the thing is, I believe that we need to start a foundation of communication. So I thought I'd make this movie that probably as we add on to it, we may see the logic that we can either end up in a deep world recession or a world war. And at the end of the day, if we come out on the other side, if we survive the world war, what if we run into the opposition that hate us? I feel that there is no answer to it, or if there is a world disaster tomorrow, and would the Muslims let it go on their land so we can survive this world disaster, or they would hate us. They wouldn't want us there. They would sooner kill us. So we got to create a logic before we get there, because it's no use in the middle of a disaster thinking that we're going to go and shoot our way into another country, because you'll only create more hatred. So we need to start this communication level, even though it takes an inch forward. At least it's an inch forward on a neutral ground that would make us all stop and think and realize that the direction we're going in is not the right direction. We need to change our society. The fruitcake has used us long enough, and we've been voting it in and in and in all the time. All we've been doing is pouring money. We work hard into a system that is non-logical. Anyway, I think I've finished this movie now. I will carry on making this type of movies, and I'd like to see what you've got to say about this of communication.